On this episode of Center Stage with the Stars, we pay tribute to Elvis. Get ready to laugh as Collin Raye, T.G. Sheppard, and Richard Sterban share fun and crazy stories about the one and only King of Rock and Roll. I was sitting in the crowd, and with everybody, and just watching everybody react to your story too was so much fun. And
well, it's a funny story too.
It's great, yeah.
But my mom got a chance to. She and her sister were teenagers, 17 and 19, and they were singing like a little singing duo that sang in the churches around the area we're from. And in 1956, Sun Records brought a tour through there, and it was Elvis headlining, and Johnny Cash was on the bill, Jerry Lee Lewis and Carl Perkins all on the same bill.
Wow. And
they all drove up in cars, and Elvis was driving his own car, and his two guys were with. He has a two-piece band. That was it. No road manager, no entourage. It was just him and his two musicians. And they came out. The shows were on flatbed trucks, and it was a series of about 6 shows around that area of Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas. And the promoter asked my grandfather if the girls, my Aunt Becky and my mom, could open the show and sing a few songs, and so they did. And by the third or fourth show, Elvis asked them to come out and sing with him on his shows, or sing oohs and ahs in background. So that actually happened.
That's so great.
And he was already it was early in his career, but he was already the biggest star in the world. So they were beside themselves.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of those moments where, hello, how would you not talk about that all the time? I mean, what a proud...
And she did. Yeah. She did till the day she had dementia. She died of some complications of dementia last year. But up until while her mind was clear, I mean, she loved Elvis and talked. And of course, the story kind of grew as the years went by. For people who didn't know, I would hear her talking to friends. Oh yeah, well, like they were close or whatever. But it happened in an instant. It was over a period of a few days. But how many people can say that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know my mom got to see him perform live, but. I mean, even that, hearing those stories these days, they're just getting fewer, and fewer. And people, my kids' generation, it's just, I don't know, they're not going to experience that. So these festivals are huge and they're important, and it's keeping him alive. And I feel like Elvis is definitely, it's that family heirloom. He's a permanent fixture in our families.
That's a good way of putting it. Because it's not, the music was great and he had so much of it, but it's not just that. But he became such an heirloom to people. I mean, it's a throwback to some people, to their grandparents, certainly to your parents. Men, nobody didn't like him. You know what I mean? Women all wanted him, and the men wanted to be him.
You told a story that I hadn't heard before from you, and I know that we did our interview not too long ago, but you were talking about meeting Elvis because he ran away.
Yeah. I don't encourage anyone to chase their dream the way I did by running away from home at 15, but God was good to me, and he let me catch it. And so maybe I did do the right thing, although it was stupid at the time to leave home and be gone for so many years. But yeah, I ran away from home and wound up in Memphis and met Elvis, and he just kind of altered my whole life, took me under his wing, and really taught me about what life was all about at a very early age.
Yeah, I mean, 15, and he told the story about leaving, meeting him at the skating rink, and I'm just picturing Elvis on roller skates in the back, so I'm chuckling because I'm like, this is just crazy.
It wasn't just regular roller skates, because we played 2 games, War and Kill, and actually what they are is football on skates. I mean, you suit up in the football gear and you actually play football. And of course, you can get mashed up pretty bad just in football, but when you're on skates and trying to play football, you can really get mashed up. And of course, strangest thing about playing football on skates with Elvis, he always won. We let him win, of course.
Right. Oh my God.
Fun times though, yeah.
Yeah, don't try that at home, folks. It does not sound like you should. I definitely will not be doing it, because we all know how that'll end. Oh my gosh, what an amazing time.
Well, the strangest thing about that night was when we got through, I kept thinking, okay, I met Elvis. The night's over, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're packing up and getting ready to leave, and I thought, wow, people will never believe that I met Elvis Presley, let alone roller skate with him. And so I thought, well, this is it, chalk it off your bucket list. Memories is what it'll be. And he walked right over to me about the time I was thinking that, and he said, "You hungry?" I said, "I'm starving." He said, "Come on, we'll go up to the house and eat." And he drove me up to Graceland in his car with other guys in the car. And we stayed there until like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, shooting pool and listening to music and eating sandwiches. And again, I thought, well, this is it, And so I left my phone number with him. And lo and behold, the next afternoon, about 8 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock, the phone rings. And, I was staying with a friend. And it was Charlie Hodge, who was Elvis's guitar player. And he said, "Elvis wanted me to call you and invite you to the movies tonight." And I said, "I'm free." So a car picked me up and took me to the Memphian and watched movies, and we were friends from then on until the day he passed.
Now I hear that Elvis was also a prankster, and that he's done some things for his bandmates and made people scared and made people laugh because he was just having a good old time. Do you have any of those memories?
I do. Elvis was a great practical jokester. And it's kind of interesting. He had two gentlemen that were his bodyguards, Sonny West and Red West. And a few months ago, Sonny passed away, and I was able to go to his funeral, and Red was there, and Red spoke at Sonny's funeral. And basically what he did, he recounted his version of that particular time, that practical joke that Elvis played on the Stamps Quartet when I was there. And it's kind of sad that just a few weeks later, then Red passed away as well. So pretty much most of Elvis's entourage, have gone on. But the particular story that they talked about at Sonny's funeral was an incident that happened when we were playing in Las Vegas. We did 2 shows a night there. After the first show, we were in our dressing room. Elvis came into our dressing room, something he very rarely does. And he said, "There's a guy coming to the second show that claims he's after me. He's going to get me. Either he was an irate boyfriend or husband or whatever, And so he said, I want you guys to come up to my suite, and Sonny and Red are going to be there, and they're going to explain to you what they would like you to do during the second show. We need to keep our eyes out for this guy." So we go up to Elvis's suite. We walk through the door of the suite, and Elvis is standing in the middle of the suite. He's kind of plunking on the piano there a little bit, and he said, this looks like, we've had a lot of threats before. This looks like it could be the real thing. And he said, "Sonny's here and Red's here." He said, "They're going to tell you," and several of the security guards are also there that worked at the hotel. He says, "They're going to tell you what they would like you to do." And so I think it was Red said that, "I'm going to be on one side of the stage. Sonny's going to be on the other side of the stage. I want you guys to look out in the audience. If you see anybody that looks suspicious, let one of us know." About that time, the door of the suite opens, and this guy comes running through the door of the suite, and he says, "Elvis, I'm going to get you." And he starts firing. He has a gun, and he starts shooting. The security guards, they all pull their guns out. They start firing back. I dove under the table, and I started praying.
Oh, my gosh.
And J.D., Elvis fell to the ground. J.D. jumped on top of Elvis to kind of protect Elvis from being shot, and he realized that Elvis was shaking. He was laughing. And this was a whole thing that Elvis had set up to play a joke on the Stamps, and it was the most real joke that I've ever been a part of.
Right.
I was so shook up. I thought I was going to die. And I remember by the second show, I was still shook up. It was hard to settle down after that. It was the most real practical joke that's ever been played on me or anybody as far as that goes.
That's absolutely incredible. I kind of wish I was a fly on the wall for that.
But he loved to play practical jokes.
Hey everyone, it's Missy Wolf with Center Stage Magazine, and thank you so much for watching this episode of Center Stage with the Stars. If you want to see more episodes with the stars that you love, please visit centerstagemag.com and be sure to check out more episodes available right here on Country Road TV.